Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and today I am bringing you an epic river crossing battle in Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. It is a 2 versus 2, and the bombardment phase has just begun. I'm actually firing with my catapult at the ranks of enemy soldiers. You can see that I've already got some decent hits on the halberdiers that are really packed together in this crossing. We're kind of just going to ignore the fire for a little while and take a look at the army comps, and then we'll get the battle started. Now, this is a little bit foggy, so you can see that some of my troops are not visible until you move towards them. But don't worry, we'll be able to see the meaty, grinded infantry battle once the army comps are finished. So, looking at my army first, I am playing as the Kingdom of Denmark. And I've got 4 units of crossbow Huskarl. I've got 2 on either flank. And then I have 4 units of spears altogether. I have 2 of these Landwehren spearmen. They're a cheaper spear unit. And then I have 2 of these skid Huskarl. So a nice elite spear unit. Pretty cost effective. And then I have 6 units of Gotland merchant footmen. Very, very cost effective infantry. And I believe I have only 2 units of Hanseatic Lancers. Looking pretty nice. I love the candy cane lances. That looks really epic. And I've got my General's Bodyguard over here. I can never say his name. Koninger of Denmark. And then my cream of the crop, I've got 2 units of these Stormend, I believe is how you say that. But look at these guys, just so elite looking. Oh, I love them. I love the plumes on their foreheads and everything as well. Looking really nice. Heavy-handed swords. So that's pretty much my army. I'm going to take a look at my ally, and then we'll take a look at the enemies. Oh, and I've got a catapult as well, I forgot. So looking at my ally, he's playing as Norway, so he's got some Ridderi. And be sure to let me know, guys, I don't know if it's Ritter or Rittery. I think Ritter sounds better, but he's got some Hanseatic Lancers over here as well. And then way over here, he's got another unit of Hanseatic Lancers and King Inge's II of Norway. And he's got different mix of units. He's got some Hanseatic infantry, so heavy crossbows. And then he's got 3 units of these guests. So they're just a bow unit. And he has a smaller army than I do. He's got more elite infantry. You can see a lot of them have gold chevron upgrades. But pretty much this is his infantry, just the Vapnir. So that's pretty much all he's bringing. And then he's got a couple of candlemen for the spears as well. And you can see that the artillery is coming down amidst the catapult.
The enemy has engaged our ally.
The rules were 1 art per player, and everybody brought 1 catapult, except for the player that I am facing. So we'll take a look at his army comp last after we look at the Ayyubid Sultanate. He's got a lot of Gulam foot guard, so very elite archer force. He's got his general over here, Sultan's bodyguard. And he's got a mix of spears and swords. He's got some June spearmen, so they look pretty nice. And then he's got his Thekla swordsman, but just look at the axe in this guy's hand. That is deadly. So they're a mix of axes and swords. You can see that they're already being shelled to death by the Norwegian catapult. That's pretty much all that he's brought. And then looking at, I think this is Poland. I believe he's playing as the Lesser Poland. There's 2 factions and they're very close, but yeah, he's got some halberdier units over here. And then running over to this side as well, you can see he's brought a lot of calves, so he's got some Serbian guests here. And then there's some Bashnik spearmen. More Serbian guests. He's got his general bodyguard, the Serbian king. Oh, so this must be the Grand Principality of Serbia. More Bashniks. And then he's got a nice meaty front line. He's got some Vlach heavy archers with mixed in with more halberdier units. But I've been focusing them pretty hard with my artillery fire. And we're just in time. Looks like he's got some armed peasants moving forwards. We can actually go ahead and probably put it on play at this point. But they're just going to get shredded by my archer fire.
Hope you kissed your wives goodbye! Because we'll soon be kissing them hello!
Yeah, they're not going to last long at all.
My blade is itching!
I'm moving forwards my archers on the over the hill there. I actually didn't even mean to focus these. He was really smart about absorbing a lot of my ammo. And you can hear the artillery fire just unleashing as well. Yeah, getting some nice hits there on the halberders. Yeah, there you go. You can see that the armed peasants, they are starting to fall very quickly. Ooh, yeah, there you go. Just broke immediately with that one volley. So they're gonna get out of there. So yeah,
Enemy units have
at looking at our units, both my ally and myself had more money, so we were responsible for taking the fight to them. But there's no... We are the attackers, essentially. The way that Attila works it is the ones that attack get more cash than the ones that are defending, just to kind of make it a little more even. But there's nothing that says that I can't utilize my crossbow huskarls to, you know, weaken the enemy as much as possible before I charge in. Armed peasants pushing in again. Oh man, just getting slaughtered. That was pretty epic. So yeah, they've completely broken, and now what I'm doing is I'm focusing these really expensive halberdier units. You can hear the artillery coming in as well. But yeah, look at the arrow fire just coming in, wrecking these very expensive units that he's going to need to defend his river crossing. Ooh, that is just painful to watch. Nice hits with the artillery as well. He does have his archers here, but I guess these Vlach heavy archers, they have pretty poor range. Let's see what the range is for them. Range 150. What are my crossbows? Only 125. Oh, there he goes. He's finally starting to fire. So it looks like maybe he had them off fire at will or something. But my crossbows are just tearing apart this infantry and like this little defense that he's got going on here. You can see through the fog that, yeah, the archers are firing with fire arrows. I would have probably turned it to standard shot, but he is doing everything he can. This player that I'm facing across the little river crossing here, he unfortunately didn't bring a catapult, so he's the only one that hasn't really brought one to the battle. If you see over on this flank, not really much is happening yet. They're kind of just skirmishing each other at this point. And I'm slowly moving forwards my spears, because I'm going to try to get them to the other side and create a spear wall. And then I'm going to try to funnel my cav in behind my spear wall and then get around the flanks. Yeah, look, he's pulling back his halberdier units. Already lost a good chunk of men out of them, though, as well as the general bodyguard being hit with some stray bolts. But these Vlach heavy archers are trying their best to return fire. But my crossbows have just got a really good rate of fire. The fire arrows does look cool, though, that's for sure. Ooh, you can just... Ooh, yeah. Oh, just wrecking this unit of heavy archers. That's tough to see if you are rooting for the Serbian player. Oh, looks like they're breaking, too. Let's turn on the HUD and take a look. Yeah, they are breaking. I'm focusing all of my crossbows at one unit at a time. I find that's a lot more effective than kind of just spraying around, you know, one unit per one unit.
This is it. In range.
Ooh, I heard that. Yeah, getting a couple kills over there. Vlach heavy archers are holding their own. They see all their dead comrades lying in their own pools of blood, but they fight on. Yeah, a ton of arrows coming forth, though. And there's my spear wall, set and ready. They're getting a couple kills, but I wouldn't fire on this spear wall. That would just be a waste of ammo. Yeah, it looks like the other unit of Vlach heavy archers is breaking as well. This is not good for the defender. He's going to have a tough time in this assault. Looking over at the other side, again, not much is happening. Kind of just a bit of a stare down. Looks like the Norwegians are getting some good kills on the spears, though. They're a little bit depleted, as well as some of the Gulam foot guard. Looking at the other side, some of the guests were killed. You can see them on the ground there. But other than that, pretty good. I didn't show you the man count before. It was 4,700 for us and 4,300 for the defenders. Naturally, they will have less because it's our job to attack them across this little crossing. Oh, that's going to be a nice shot, yeah. Getting some kills there. Ooh. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good for me at this point. My men haven't really taken too many casualties.
Bastards! I will cut out your hearts and eat them!
So we are holding strong. Yeah, you can see he's firing into my spear wall. He's getting a couple of kills, but I'm more than happy to allow my spears to die. What I really care about is the meat of my army, which is this Gotland merchant footman and also my my stormend. So I'm keeping them back out of the fight. I'm using all my artillery ammo before I attack. And my crossbows still have a lot of ammo. These are really effective crossbows.
We waited a long time to rid you of the town. Eyes front! No bleeding! Aye! Enemies tend to do that.
There go my troops just marching forward slowly. So like I said before, my plan is kind of worked because before you could see that he had this little, by the dead bodies, you could see he had this V for victory here, but he's pulled all of his infantry way, way back. So I've actually moving forwards my spears onto this beachhead with basically no resistance whatsoever. So now that I've established kind of a beach front, now that I've established this little beachhead here, I'll be able to funnel infantry and cav in around to this right-hand side. I know I have my cursor off so you can't see, but this area that I'm going through right here, this will be all open. He has this one unit of Bashniks here in the trees, but they're not going to be any worry for me. And I'm, again, just moving up my archers. This is a very thick spear wall, so I can't imagine that they're going to be too effective if they charge me. And you can see, yep, pushing more and more forwards. He's got some cav here, but he kind of changes his mind. He doesn't want to charge in. Looking over on this side, still pretty slow. You can see that the Ayyubid Sultanate player, he's losing some of his swords now because they're being cut down. And it looks like his catapult was actually completely destroyed. Is that the case? Where is his catapult crew? Yes, it looks like it actually, maybe they broke off the battlefield. He probably sent them in just for attacking purposes. But yes, I've got my nice little beachhead here. And you can see where the spot is where I'm going to be trying to get my cav in and around. And here comes my cav right now. So you can see, if you guys are playing in river crossing battles, how effective this strategy is. Because look at that. My cav basically just pours over onto the other flank unhindered. He does have some Serbian guests here that will slow down one of my units, but this beachhead has been established. And my ally, I also told him about the opening, so he's got his Ritter and his Hanseatic Lancers, and they are also funneling in through this gap. And my spears are holding very well. Let's go ahead and put this in slow motion here, so we can kind of see some good, meaty fighting. So yeah, my spears are in shield wall, so they're going to hold for a very, very long time against this infantry. No problem holding long enough for my infantry to get around and behind, and I think that's the issue. The defender was just outgunned. It's not really his fault, and again, you guys know that I never fault anyone in my videos. It's just a game, and it's a fun game. I love playing it, but there are certain elements of strategy that can really help you out, and in river crossing battles, if you want to avoid kind of an infantry grind fest like this, you gotta really use up your ammo and try to chew into the defenders a little bit, and then push forwards and establish yourself on the other side. If I was the Serbian player and I saw the spears moving forwards, I think a better plan might have been to just charge and meet me halfway. That way he wouldn't have been able to be outflanked. And I believe that his infantry, with all of his halberdiers, they would have done quite well against my spears in prolonged melee. But the problem is, if we turn on the HUD, you can see that they're very, very depleted. Over on this side, I've got my Hanseatic Lancers going up against the Serbian guests, and you can see that my cav is winning. So the Serbian oh, I'm sorry, they're not guests, they're gussers. Serbian gussers. But yeah, they're only a light melee cav, whereas my Hanseatic Lancers are a heavy melee cav. And the general's bodyguard, the Serbian king, he's also getting quite depleted as well. But looking at other areas of the battle, you can see that the spears are starting to break. This is one of my cheaper spear units of Landwehren. The combined pike and sword has made its number. There's the Serbian infantry right there, going up against my spears. They're not as heavily armored, so I'd expect them to break. But you can see that just a ton of my troops are moving forwards across the river crossing. That looks epic. You can see the plumes of my two-handed units. The king has commanded his elite bodyguards to come in and kind of clean up. That looks awesome. Yeah, just the heavy infantry moving forwards. You can see my king moving up as well. So really, really good battle over here. He has managed to plug most of his gaps, and the reason he is getting this spear unit, I think he has some units around the flanks, the halberdiers, that are chewing up my infantry. But taking a look at the cav battle over here, yeah, my Hanseatic Lancers are really holding well. Looks like the Serbians try to pull out their cav just in time. But unfortunately, they do break. If you, in Attila, for those of you guys that don't know, if you pull out your units while they're locked into melee, they take heavy losses. So you really have to weigh the pros and cons of just leaving them engaged in melee for longer. If you, like this general here, if you pulled him out of battle right now, he would most certainly die. But the general is starting to wave already. Waver? Not wave. I don't think he's in a waving mood right now. But again, it looks like my ally is kind of just biding time. He has skirmished the enemy down quite significantly, and he's pulled back a lot of his infantry to stay away from the presence of the Gulam foot guard, just because there's like 6 or 8 units over there. So in prolonged, skirmishing phases, the Norwegians would take more losses than kills. But let's go ahead and turn this back on. Yeah, my Stormend just is breaking those halberdiers very, very easily. I've got some of my Gotland merchant footmen. We can go and zoom into them on the battle. But I've got them right in behind enemy lines, which is excellent. That's going to really affect their morale. Yeah, so it looks like it's a tough loss for the Serbian player. Let's go ahead and jump back out of that there. So yeah, look at that, just massive chain rout. Unfortunately, just the outflank of my Stormend and Gotland Merchant Footmen has just routed the entire Serbian army off the field. So that was quite successful for me. I didn't take too many losses. My spears are a little bit depleted, and I think one of my cav units broke. No, I still got both of them. So it was quite successful on my flank, and it all just really comes down to patience. I find a lot of people are way too impatient in river crossing battles. But obviously, you know, it's a 2v1 now, so it's very heavily in my favor. But the reason I uploaded this was just because I love river crossing battles. They're always epic, always. And you could see that the Ayyubid Sultanate realizes that his ally is broken off the battlefield, so he's recommitting all of his June spearmen over to my side. Because he knows what's coming. He knows that we're going to be moving over onto his flanks. They got a nice little setup there, but unfortunately, they are now going to be in a difficult situation. He's moving forwards his archers to try to get into range. The timer is ticking. Oh, looks like the general came back from routing. Whoops, that was not accurate, Attila. Yeah, the general did come back from routing, but I pushed my Hanseatic Lancers onto him, and there he's broken off the battlefield for good. And that should keep his infantry from coming back from routing. So yeah, pretty much I'm moving all my infantry over, so now we're going to focus on this part of the battle. It actually ended up really working out because I could really focus on 1v1 action here. But yeah, look at all of the archer fire from the Gulam Foot Guard coming in on these Candlemen. Are they Candlemen or Landwehren? Candlemen, yep. Ooh, yeah, they're taking heavy losses as they try to push forwards here. Ooh, it's a constant bombardment. Ooh, they didn't even, one of the units didn't even make it across before it started to break. That is really tough to see. But it was a good plan because it actually screened a lot of his Vapenir from getting shot up. So he's going to be able to get his more elite infantry into the battlefield. Here comes the swordsman. Nice charge. Good infantry fight going on over here. If we look over here, I think my army is coming into position now. Yeah, you can see that they're on the move. I've got all of my cav kind of swinging around this flank here. He's really trying to protect it with his... oh, there's one unit of halberdiers over here from the Serbians. And there's the June spearmen kind of holding the flank as well. And the Sultan's bodyguard, they're really trying to protect their archers, which is a smart plan. But look at the Norwegian infantry is really breaking. I think the archer fire is just too much. He's got his archers kind of set up on the flanks. Yeah, it's getting a little thin on the Norwegian side. But he's committing more of his infantry. He's got 2 fresh units coming into the battle. And our infantry and cav has pretty much arrived at this point. I think there's going to be a good charge on these Gulam foot guard. Nice. Yeah, good charge there. The Sultan's bodyguard did try to slow down the cav, but now they are locked into melee. And I think I'm sending my cav in as well. Yeah, here comes my cav, kind of charging into the general's bodyguard. Already down 6 men. It's not gonna be a good fight for him at all. And there goes my general charging into the back of the Sultan's bodyguard. That's really going to hurt with the heavy shock cav coming in. And yeah, my infantry is just flooding through these June spearmen. They are not slowing me down at all. He's peeling off his halberdiers. Well, actually, these are the Serbian halberdiers that are still trying to protect the archers with their final breath. But just look at the flood of troops coming over the hill. Right into the backs of the archers. And the Norwegian cav is back there as well. Getting some nice charges. Very, very good fight. Yep, down to the last 6 seconds. And there we go. Close victory. And very, very epic battle. Let's take a look at the end results here. So myself playing as Denmark. Please say this was Serbia. It is. Whew. If you guys subscribed to my channel 4 or 5 months ago, I actually did a battle where I called the Serbians, I believe it was. I called them the Polish the entire battle. And this one guy told me that it was the Serbians. And it rattled me so much that I got it wrong that I actually re-recorded the entire video. But I'm glad I've got that. Check it out, though, guys, and you can affirm that this sigil here for the Serbians, exactly the same as the Polish. Like, exactly the same. It's really hard to tell. But anyways, off on a tangent. So looking at my men here, my general bodyguard not faring too well because he didn't really see much action. But my spears doing very well. My storemen, my elite infantry, they did excellent. And my Golan merchant footmen did pretty well. And look at my crossbows, 215, 161, 121. My cav, 247, 114. And my catapult, 223. Looking at the opponent that I faced, obviously his armed peasant's not going to do that well. His halberdiers really got shredded. I focused them on purpose because they are such an elite unit. And his infantry just didn't hold that well at all. And his archers didn't get many kills, and his cav didn't either. So this player is new to Total War. I played with him a couple times, and he's new, so I don't fault him for this at all. It was probably his first river crossing battle ever, and I really appreciate you joining Sis70 Spaceboy 20. What I would have done, though, because there was bringing wooden artillery would have helped a ton. And also maybe switching for some crossbows. They have better armor piercing, so going for them. Let's take a look at Dabas 11111. His Candleman just got wrecked by the archers, but that's okay. His Vapnir did decently well. His archers did okay, and his cav doing good, and his catapult doing good as well. Looking at the Ayyubid Sultanate, look at the kills by the Gulam Foot Guard. If you guys are playing as Eastern factions, you gotta bring these heavy archer units. They are actually, in my opinion, more cost-effective unit than a lot of their melee swordsmen are. Just look at the difference in kills. Like, that's pretty substantial. But only 7 kills with the catapult and not many with the general's bodyguard. So there you have it, guys. Really epic river crossing. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more 1212 content on my channel in the future. And as always, I will see you in the next one.